The downfall of Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker Unmasked. In the mid-1980s, Los Angeles found itself gripped by terror. An elusive predator, soon to be known as the Night Stalker, prowled the streets under the cloak of darkness. His spree of unthinkable violence stretched across over a year, leaving fear in his wake. The randomness of his attacks, spanning ages, genders, and methods, kept the public and law enforcement on edge. People bolted their doors and windows, looking over their shoulders in constant fear. Yet each night brought new horrors. What the city didn't know, however, was that the unprecedented reign of Richard Ramirez would soon come crashing down, all because of one careless mistake. A single fingerprint would become the key to vanquishing the terror that loomed over California. This is the story of how technology, human determination, and public courage worked in harmony to solve one of the most infamous cases in criminal history. Before we dive into his arrest, let's explore who Richard Ramirez was. Born in El Paso, Texas, Ramirez had a troubled upbringing riddled with abuse, exposure to violence, and disturbing influences. By the time he reached adulthood, he had embraced a fascination with Satanism and violence, transforming himself into a predator whose crimes would become the stuff of nightmares. Ramirez's crime spree began in the spring of 1984, moving with frightening precision across California. From burglary to murder to sexual assault, his unpredictable methods left investigators baffled. He seemed almost untouchable, as if slipping through the hands of justice like a phantom. Each crime scene whispered tales of unimaginable horror but yielded little forensic evidence. By the summer of 1985, his moniker, the Night Stalker, had become synonymous with terror. Public panic escalated, amplified by sensational headlines and a citywide manhunt leading to dead end after dead end. With no patterns connecting his victims and elusive evidence to go on, authorities were trapped in a cat-and-mouse game with a predator who seemingly had the upper hand. Ramirez, however, was far from perfect. His overconfidence would soon become his undoing. In August 1985, Ramirez struck for what would become his final known time. The details of the crime were gruesome, following the same chilling trademarks the public had come to fear. However, after committing his violent act, Ramirez made one fateful misstep. He abandoned a stolen orange Toyota Corolla. His carelessness with the car would shift the tide of the investigation. Detectives swarmed the abandoned vehicle, desperate for a breakthrough. Inside, they found a clue so small, yet so instrumental, it was impossible to miss. A single fingerprint, pressed onto the car's rearview mirror, provided the first tangible link to unmask the phantom tormenting Los Angeles. At the time, fingerprint technology was undergoing major advancements, empowering investigators to analyze prints more efficiently than ever before. The print lifted from the Toyota Corolla was sent through the automated fingerprint identification system, a groundbreaking tool at the time. The discovery was immediate. Investigators uncovered a match. The fingerprint belonged to one man, Richard Ramirez. Suddenly, the faceless predator had a name, a past, and an identity that could no longer hide in the shadows. Law enforcement wasted no time. Within hours of the match, Ramirez's mugshot from a prior arrest was pulled from criminal records. They released the photo to the public, setting off a firestorm of recognition and amplifying pressure for his capture. For over a year, the city of Los Angeles had been paralyzed by fear. But everything changed the moment Richard Ramirez's face began circulating in the media. The predator's anonymity, which had been his greatest weapon, now became his weakness. Within 24 hours, Ramirez's identity spread like wildfire across television screens, newspapers, and radios. The people of California were given their first opportunity to fight back, and that they did. On August 31st, 1985, a fateful encounter unfolded. Ramirez wandered into East Los Angeles, unaware that his name and face were now etched in everyone's minds. In a bustling neighborhood, he was recognized by an ordinary citizen who shouted out his identity. Panic gripped Ramirez as he took off running, attempting to evade a growing crowd of residents who began chasing him. Refusing to let the Night Stalker escape, the community banded together. Their efforts turned into a full-scale pursuit. This wasn't just about Ramirez's capture. It was a moment of collective bravery. a symbol of a city reclaiming its power from fear. Overpowered and cornered by bystanders, Ramirez was apprehended until police arrived to take him into custody. The capture of Richard Ramirez marked a significant moment not just for Los Angeles, but for criminal investigations everywhere. The fingerprint discovery signified one of the earliest major successes using automated identification technologies. Forensics had pulled together a lead that human intuition alone might never have achieved. Ramirez had built his legacy of infamy on the assumption that he could remain untouchable, but the very tools he underestimated sealed his fate. Moreover, it showcased how law enforcement's persistence, paired with cutting-edge forensic innovations, could crack even the toughest cases. It reinforced the idea that no criminal is above the reach of justice. The world watched as Ramirez faced trial, which became one of the most publicized legal proceedings of the decade. The evidence against him was overwhelming, bolstered by the fingerprint match and testimonies of survivors. Convicted of 13 counts of murder, 5 counts of attempted murder, and numerous other felonies, Ramirez was sentenced to death in 1989. Yet, throughout his trial, he continued to project an air of arrogance, even taunting the families of his victims with chilling displays of disdain. His story, but more importantly, the collective efforts to stop him, became a symbol of hope. No matter how ruthless or cunning a predator may appear, they are never above the reach of justice when technology, community, and determination collide. The story of Richard Ramirez's fall from terror to capture is one of tenacity, teamwork, and the promise of technological breakthroughs. It serves as a reminder that even the darkest reigns of fear can be overcome by persistence and unity. True crime fans often ask, what separates law enforcement victories from lost cases? In this tale, it came down to a single fingerprint. One small piece of evidence revealed the identity of a monster, ending his spree and allowing an entire city to breathe again. For the people of Los Angeles, the image of Ramirez's mugshot plastered on screens was no longer a symbol of fear. It was a beacon of hope. His capture, enabled by tools of justice and a brave community, closed the chapter on one of the most chilling crime sprees in American history. Justice prevailed, proving that even the most elusive criminals leave behind trails for the determined to uncover. And as the Night Stalker disappeared behind bars, the city reclaimed its nights, no longer haunted by shadows. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like to show your support. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update from Evil Unmasked. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below with your theories or suggestions for future topics. Stay curious, stay safe, and we'll see you in the next video.